ballot papers were printed. We don't know how many people voted. We don't know anything. We sent people to eavesdrop only, but nobody was accredited officially for that early voting that took place. And standard best practice, international best practice, would dictate that for any election, it has to be accredited. Clearly, by their own admission, we are going to have two sets of ballot papers for the same election. We are going to have two sets of ballot papers for the presidential elections. We don't know how many of the first set they have produced. We also know that the APC never received a copy of the early voters register, and no voters, no observers from political parties were officially accredited. And they say they had an application process for early voters, and this process was not transparent. And so what happened is that most, out of the over 600 people who went from Sierra Leone for the Hajj, only the 200, 250 or so that were sponsored by government knew about the process for getting approval to vote, and therefore were the only ones that voted. And so the over 400 others who also went on the Hajj never had an opportunity to vote and might, as a result, be disenfranchised. And some of them, because they did not know that they had to apply prior to being allowed to vote, just thought that they could just come in with proof that they were going on the Hajj and be allowed to vote. They were turned back. They were not allowed to vote. So which means they had people that they wanted to vote, and those are the ones that they allowed to vote. We are therefore of the opinion that that early voting that took place was illegal and was therefore null and void, because it did not follow best practice in the conduct of elections, and it was in contravention of their own constitutional instrument, to be very specific, number 16, section 45. The fourth point has to do with the voters register. Again, section 13(1) of the Public Elections Act of 2022 states, there shall, not will. And those who are legally minded know what the shall means. There shall be a national register of voters, to be known as the register of voters, which shall contain A, the names and particulars of persons who are entitled to vote in public elections and referenda, including the following: their voter identification number, their date and place of birth, their sex, and their signature or thumbprint. I want people here present to note that APC did not prepare the revised 2022 Act. It was prepared by the Electoral Commission and taken to Parliament for ratification. Which means, therefore, that they made provisions that they believed are helpful for the conduct of a free, fair, transparent, and credible election. What they have done in the voters register that they made available to us is to just give us a name and a picture. And that picture is at least 6 years old. Because these are pictures from the 2016 NCRA register. What we find strange is that in 2021, NCRA updated the civic register. Why did they not use the updated civic register, which will even give us more accurate figures? In 2022, the ECSL did a voter registration. They chose not to use the 2018 register. They chose to use the 2016 register and not the 2021 register. However, they promised us that first-time voters, they will take pictures of first-time voters during registration. What we therefore expect is that the register should have pictures of people who are adults, 18 years and above. But if you take a look at the voters register, which they gave to us, it is full of children. The pictures would clearly show that these are children, and therefore should not be voting. They should be in primary school, not 18 years plus, and dare to vote. We have samples, colored samples. I have them with me here. If anybody wants them, we can make them available to you. We can even, since we have with us a copy of the entire voters register, we can make it available to whoever needs it, so you can see for yourself what has happened. The ECSL has therefore violated the provisions of Section 13(1) of the Act by only providing voters' names and photographs, no voter identification numbers, and the other details are not there. If you compare, and interestingly, in the last EPPLC meeting, I drew their attention to the fact that this register they are giving to us is different from the register of 2018. The Commission regrettably insisted that the registers are the same, and that is what they've been doing for all elections. That is why I forwarded to their personal WhatsApps the 2018 voters register and the 2023 voters register, and I asked them the simple question: are these two the same? The ECSL is supposed to be a very credible institution, charged with a very fundamental responsibility, the conduct of which would go a long way to determine whether this country could be at peace or this country could be in chaos. And if they can afford to not be benevolent to the truth on a simple issue of the layout of the register, what information is on it, how can we trust them to handle the results of a very critical election? If you also look at the voters register, you see they have included thousands and thousands of underage voters. And the majority of these underage voters are from the southern and eastern provinces. If you also look at the voters register, the summary from the voters register, this is the summary for Kailam. You will see that they have many single station centers and 2 station centers. Many. Kenema alone, therefore, has a total of about 292 centers, whereas Western Area Rural has only 154 centers. What this large number of centers compared to other parts of the country would therefore imply is that the distances that people have to travel to go and vote are much shorter for people from the south and east than for people from other parts of the country. So there is therefore a structural disadvantage because they believe that those are not our strongholds and they want to disadvantage people from our stronghold. Then if you even look at the register, we have printed the voters register and you will see duplication of names. All in an effort to just bloat the figures in the south and east. A large number of missing photos, a disproportionately larger number of missing photos are identified in the register for the south and east than it is for the north, northwest, and west. The only interpretation the APC can give to that is they don't want us to know how young and old these people are if they see the photos. So it's deliberate. They deliberately kept the photos. So there is the argument that Section 13(3) gives the Commission the right to vary the format of the voters' register. But those who are legally minded would know that Section 13(3) does not override the requirements of Section 13(1). The latter, what they have done by simply giving us name and photo, and when the photos are at least 6 years old, is to really override the provisions of Section 13(1), and we do not think that they have those powers. And we are hoping that they can stop this cherry picking. Where it suits them, they go strictly by the law. Where it does not suit them, they don't go by the law. Based on the ECSL published analysis of provisional registration data on the 17th November, new registrations as a percentage of total register in the Western Oba. In Kailahun is 25%. In Kenema is 22%. In Bo is 25%. Are they suggesting that we don't have children in the Western Urban and Freetown turning 18? That they give birth to more people in the South and East who are therefore turning 18, and so we can have this disparity, 6% as against 25%. Is it realistic? But it is all, in our view, part of a ploy to inflate the figures in the Southeast and deliberately disenfranchise people from the Western area. And we did report multiple times at the PPLC and through correspondences that our people in the Western area are being refused the opportunity to register and vote. We raised those concerns repeatedly and they were never adequately responded to. So the APC is therefore saying that in order to bring this issue to rest, let us audit the voters' register. And that audit has to be done by an independent firm, so that we are sure. So it will not be their word against ours. We have looked at the data and it is clearly not credible and cannot therefore be used to conduct any credible elections. The fifth point has to do with the results reconciliation form. We are informed that they will have two sets of forms. One form that will be sent directly to the national office, and another one that will be sent to the district and copies given to political parties. That we find strange, and we are saying, let us just stick to our single results reconciliation form, and then in the usual way, they can take one copy in a sealed T for national, one copy sealed T for Tally Center, one copy for wherever they have to take it, for the wall, to be pasted on the wall, and then political parties are given an opportunity to have copies. So that when we want to challenge any figures at the Tally Center, will be operating from the same document, not separate document. However credible they might want us to believe, those two documents could be. However similar they want us to believe, those two documents may be. We are also informed in our meetings with them that the polling center managers and the presiding officers will be given an app that they are going to use to transmit the results electronically to the national office. This is an election where we are going to start from the results and work backwards. It will not follow the provisions of sections 88 to 93 of the Public Elections Act. Rather, they want to go around. They go first to the national, they confirm the figures, they have the results, and then they say, region, now confirm what we have here. District, now confirm what we have here. That is not what the law says. And that is not what should happen. And we will not accept it. The law is very clear. And we have credible information to suggest that in cloud, that is where they intend to manipulate the results, and they have booked venues where they will be beaming those fake results live. We know that our opponents tried it in constituency 110 and published fake results claiming victory in the elections in 110. But since it was just one constituency, it was difficult because we had our own results and we went to the Tally Center, we were able to prove that our results were valid and we were able to win those elections 3 times. So the APC will not accept. We reject this proposal and we say, let us count at the polling station, certify the results there, go to the district as provided for in 92(2). Let the district returning officer certify the results in his or her office in the region, and after that, in the district. And after that, we go to the region for the certification, and then we go to the office of the chief returning officer, wherever the center will be. But definitely not in his village, where he said he has the right by law, if he feels like, to announce the results from his village, and definitely not on a plane, except if he wants to suggest that he will be on the run while he's announcing the results. Then in that case, yes, he might have to wait. He might have to wait until he's airborne to announce. I want to plead with the chair. I want to plead with the chair to please prevail on this, our colleagues, not to interrupt. It is disrespectful. And I'm sure they will not like it if the APC interjects when they are talking. But this just goes to explain the character and attitude that they have portrayed over this period against us. They will never allow the APC to make its case, and they will just dismiss it with a wave of the hand. That is why this time the APC is saying enough is enough. We will call their bluff this time. The sixth issue has to do with violence. The APC has suffered and endured violence over the years. We have restrained our members from the day on 31st of May 2019, when they removed 9 of our MPs from Parliament, and then, I think that's not bad enough, they came into our office and brutalized us, and then they arrested over 500 of us, locked us up in at the CID. Some of us were at the CID till 2 a.m. to secure the release of brutalized people just so they can go and get medical treatment. This pattern, this has emboldened the decision of the APC not to retaliate, has emboldened the opposition to continue, and they have continued up to this day. Even when on the 23rd of May, campaigning formally started and they allocated days to political parties to campaign, they would not allow APC to campaign. They would attack us, especially in the south and east. But we have never disrupted their campaigns anywhere in the north, northwest, and the west. We are confident we have the people on our side, and we have instructed our people, if they want to come out and they pay you to wear their vest, collect the money, wear the vest, dance. Because so you can go and buy yourself a cup of rice so you will not starve. They attacked us on nomination day in Buchanan, in Bonn, and instead of the perpetrators being arrested, it is the victims that are arrested. And to this day, they are in detention. Some of them are attending court. The day of the peace pledge, the day we signed the peace pledge here, the APC district council aspirant in Kailahu was attacked in his house. His mother was wounded with a machete. People were attacked in Foindu in Bujano district and kicked out of the village. The APC members in that village, including 4 women, spent about 12 weeks locked up in cells in Bo. 12 days, even though they were the victims. Our councillor and our member of parliament candidates in Kenema were also attacked. When we reported the matter to the police station in Kenema and also to the police officer representing the police at the PPLC, they said we should go and find the people who beat up our aspirants. They cannot find them. APC should go and find the people and say, yes, it is these people that beat up this woman before ever they could act. They don't have any capacity to investigate. I wonder what the role of the special branch and the criminal investigation department is. During our campaign day in Pujan, our members were attacked, and literally some were forced to declare for the SLPP, or they will leave Gendema. On our second campaign activity in Bonn, our district organizing secretary for Bonn was beaten and 4 teeth were removed. We even came with him to one of our meetings with our partners, and the political officer had an opportunity to interact with them. Our running mate was blocked in Kenema and Bo on our campaign day. His convoy was disrupted. Our presidential candidate was attacked and tear gassed in Kono. He was also attacked yesterday in Puja. Instead of him being protected by the police, he was tear gassed. Some of our executive members who drove from Gendema to attend the rally yesterday in Puja have been arrested and taken to Bo. 9 of them were arrested, and our party office in Puja has been vandalized. Nobody. And in all of these things, not a single arrest of the SLPP supporters has been made by the police. Rather, it is the victims that are arrested and detained and taken to court. That is why the APC has consistently said that the security forces have to realize that their loyalty is not to a political party or to an individual. Their loyalty is to the constitution of this country. They have a responsibility to protect lives and property, and they have to do it in a balanced manner. Because if they don't do so, and they obey illegal orders, the day of reckoning might come one day, and they will have themselves singularly responsible for whatever illegal actions they take against the first citizens. Our chairman in Kailamo district and other members were attacked and beaten, and our party office vandalized. Even as we are here, like our deputy chairman and deputy leader just said, today is our campaign day in Bo. Our members are not allowed to campaign, and our office is under attack. We have pictorial evidences for all of these issues that we have raised. Have been planned and perpetrated by the SLPP with full backing from the security forces. Number 7, eligibility of commissioners. The Chief Electoral Commissioner was imposed without adherence to Section 32(4)(b) of the Public Elections Act and without adherence to Section 36(1)(b) of the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone. The laws provide that to be appointed as Chief Electoral Commissioner, you should be qualified to be elected as a member of your appointment. The Chief Electoral Commissioner at the time of his appointment was the Director General for the Financial Intelligence Unit, and therefore could not have been appointed and approved by that time. We raised those issues. They ignored us. In 2005-2006, the late President Amatijan Kaba wanted to appoint a certain Mr. Aka as Chief Electoral Commissioner. When the political parties raised legitimate concerns, he consulted. When they raised legitimate concerns, he withdrew his nomination and brought in a consensus candidate in the person of Christian Atop. That is what we expect from the government. So, in Section 32(3) of the 1991 Constitution, it states, members of the Electoral Commission shall be appointed by the President after consultation with leaders of all registered political parties, not some, all registered political parties. there was no consultation with the All People's Congress Party in their appointment of our required commissioners. They just informed us, and simply informing us is not a consultation. We were informed through the appointment. So in summary, we are saying that there is a lion's share of single polling centers in the Southeast, thus providing voters there with the comparative advantage of easy access relative to those in other parts of the country. We are saying, contrary to other existing official data points, the majority of first-time voters are in the Southeast. And this, like I said, if you look at their own data, they said only 6% in Freetown, 25% in Kailahun, 22% in Kenema, 25% in Bo. We are saying the voters register is discredited for the reasons outlined. And it is not enough, it is not consistent with the law to just give us names and 6-year-old photos, and you call that a voters register. It is not in conformity with the provisions of the law. And we are saying introduction of a new untested electronic application without consultation with or the knowledge of other political parties is wrong. We have seen how apps have failed. Recently in Nigeria, the Beavers failed, it crashed. Even in the recent midterm census, their so-called computer-based application, it crashed, it failed. Even the best of times, the possibility of a system crashing exists. That is why before you use a system for such a sensitive exercise, apart from the need for the process to be inclusive, it should be piloted and tested. That has not been done. At least the All People's Congress Party has not been a part of any piloting or any testing of any app to be able to. That's what I'm saying. If these other rumors about this app are coming to the fore, we are saying let us have an independent forensic audit of the system so that we are sure that it can stand the test of time. But in any case, for these elections, we are saying no electronic application should be used. Let us go through the old formal system. We are saying the ECSL is abrogating our electoral laws, especially by attempting to bypass the district level certification. We believe, and verily say so, if I could use the language of the legal people, that the introduction of 2 RRFs could enable and facilitate electoral fraud. We are saying the lack of responsiveness and independence of the judiciary in respect of electoral and political processes or cases is also worrisome. As we sit here, the APC has filed a case to the Supreme Court challenging or asking for interpretation on the whole issue about Section 92(2) of the Public Elections Act. We have also raised a number of elections-related concerns, including the issues around the voters register, which we are saying is not in conformity with Section 13(1) of the Constitution. And we are therefore calling on the Supreme Court to direct the Commission to do the right thing. As usual, the cases have not been assigned, and they expect us to be silent about it. Enough is enough. The person charged with the responsibility to lead this electoral process we have said since 2018, 2019, is not eligible to be Chief Electoral Commissioner. So therefore, whether they were able to manipulate Parliament or whatever to do, whatever to get him approved or not, the APC still believes that they are trying to legalize illegality, and that in itself is wrong. The APC therefore demands an audit of the voters' register, and the APC stands by the 72-hour ultimatum. And Mr. Chairman of Peace Commission, the press release from the party did not state a date when the APC was going to come out. So we therefore don't know where the SLP or the Peace Commission got the idea from to say APC was coming out today. The day the APC chooses to come out, it will not be a secret. Everybody will see the numbers. It will not be a secret, and nobody will determine the numbers for us. It is the people to whom power belongs that will demand their power back. Thank you very much.
Anyone in this room to think that it is new? No one. We've been asking for this audit long time ago. So don't say, oh, time is short, we don't have time. We've asked for this audit. Even when the life of Parliament was on, I myself wrote a personal letter to the chair of the ECSL. The letter was ignored. It was never acknowledged. So it is not new and the time is not short. The democracy of Sierra Leone is so important that time, like I said to one of my friends on Saturday, Nigeria had to postpone their elections in 2019 for obvious reasons. We better go into an election where everyone is comfortable and certain of what is happening. If it has to be this Saturday, let's do what we have to do. But all the players have to be satisfied. ECSL is serving political parties who are in turn representing the wishes of the electorate. And before I drop the mic, Mr. Chairman, PPIC and Peace Commission, we have people who have been arrested. Several of them, like he has mentioned. Victims have been arrested as perpetrators. This should not be happening in a country where we are preaching peace. Peace goes with justice. They go side by side. So I call on the two of you to dig deep, because you've been doing well, but your silence is also deafening. Your silence is deafening, and we must echo that. And one of them, specifically, is Mr. Atopias. Mr. Atopias is still behind bars. And when they faked the messages, he did not just go to the police as Congo Cross to report that what is circulating is not from him. He also went to 98.1 and the SLBC to give a disclaimer. Today, before I came here, there is also something similar that has been faked between the president and or the first lady and the chair of ECSL. The same thing. They did one again a few days ago on Honorable Latif in Port Loko. This is the new scam, and I'm sure the police knows it is scam. They know it is scam. Atopias is suffering behind bars unjustly. Please intervene, plead with the police, let them get him out. He has done nothing wrong. It's not because he has declared for the APC or like his former leader who was declared for the SLPP. Let them get him out. These are the injustices we are talking about. You can't push it to the wall. You have a role to play, Mr. PPRC. His arrest is political. Chairman, Peace Commission, fortunately you are here, not just chairman of the PPRC. Let's talk about justice. We can't be silent. Let's don't wait for the last minute. We can't be silent. We are prepared, we have campaigned, even though we've been obstructed, we know we'll win the elections at any day and any time. But we need the space and we need transparency and credibility. Thank you very much.
The postcard issuing, we had a net by region, a net reduction by 1,086 voters in the Eastern region, in the North increased by 306 voters, in the Northeast increased by 342, in the South increased by 92, and West 366. So we did not move voters from the Northwest to the Southeast. SO13. Or confirmation, ECS not comply with the relevant provisions in PA or on the eligibility of voters, rejection of first-time voters. I think I've explained this. We have done the best we could, as I mentioned, during the voter registration. We had another executive of the All People's Congress who we're working with closely. And they were part of the voter verification. We are part of the deduplication at the warehouse for all the days they were there. We have the roster that can confirm that. And they were given opportunities to ask questions. And as a result, we came out with the final figure in November. It says state managed exhibition. Again, this was never a state managed exhibition. We will follow the law under section 27 of PA. It says commissioners are sympathetic to the government of the day. That's not the case. Let me make this again very clear that the commission here, because in some meetings with some foreign partners, they are requested, they had the same rumor, or they were informed that the commissioners are from the same Northwest, Southwest, Southeast region. And we have the commissioners now here. He is the Mende. Let me start with myself, Mende, Konyaka, or Paul Mende. He is a Timni from Poloko, or from Bombali. He is a Timni as well. Mrs. Moja is a Kisi. And Mrs. Zaina must be a Limba. So probably people are confused with her name, Mosure, but she's a Limba. So the commission compositions, as I mentioned earlier, if we had all of them from the, not us, the commissioners, but the staff, if we all of them coming from one region, it is not my responsibility. I inherited them. And I have worked them, they are professionals, and that's more the reason we have taken the honors that we have to conduct this election with the local resources. We have challenged them to doing that. Recommendations. ECSL to guarantee counting of ballot follows polling stations, manual tally instead of electronically in the presence of party agents. The commission guaranteed the APC that the result will be counted at polling station in the presence of political party agents and observers. The original results reconciliation form will be completed by the PO, polling officer, presiding officer, and a copy of the signed RRF form will be given to party agents. All original RRF forms will be placed in tea bags and taken to the district returning officer, who will take them to the regional tally center for collation and certification of district results. We have created offices in our regional offices for each of the district officers in the region. We do not have the resources, we do not have the setup in district offices because these are rented properties. Many offices don't have the structure for us to do tally. As a result, following the practice of the past two elections, electoral cycles, the commission followed the same decision to do regional tally, where district returning officers will go with their results. They supervise the collation of the results, and the result will be certified in front of the regional commissioners, and then subsequently the regional commissioners will submit the results for me, the provisional result, for my tally and confirmation. As much as we have done our best, but there are things we cannot be forced into doing because of our mandate. So we are an independent institution with the responsibility of conducting and supervising elections. The law gives us the power to make regulations that we bring together political parties, civil society organizations, and to be inclusive, to develop procedures and regulations that will ensure the credibility of the electoral processes. And these regulations are presented to Parliament for ratification. As a result of the hue and cries over the years, the Commission has taken decision that in addition to the manual transportation of results, the physical transportation of the results, we have developed mobile apps which we allow our staff, once results have been counted, signed by the PO, results reconciliation form is pasted on the wall and given to political parties. The center, polling center manager, will take photos of these results and transmit them to the Electoral Commission. While waiting for the hard copy, while waiting for the tally to start with in the presence of all the political parties. We are not going to tally any results without the presence of political parties unless they reject not going there. In other words, the same result management model, which has been established since 2012, is the same model we are using. The only addition we have made for us to understand the transmission, to also understand how fast we can get access to the result, is the introduction of this, the electronic system. We have not changed from day one. We have not changed from procedure. So once the results have been submitted to the district returning officer, he will collect all the district results, takes them to the regional office where we have created the tally centers. They have, each region has an office in their district, each district has their office in their region. Once they certify, the results will then be given to the agent present, that this is the certified results, which they have the opportunity to compare to whatever they have collected. And they also, when we are doing the tally, they have the opportunity to call on the ECSL to check the results that they might be interested in, which they will pull out and do the comparison. So we have not changed, we have not moved. This is just a parallel approach for us to have electronic transfer of results earlier than expected. Or confirmation, ECS not comply with the relevant provisions in PA or on the eligibility of voters, rejection of first-time voters. I think I have explained this. We have done the best we could, as I mentioned, during the voter registration. We had another executive of the All People's Congress who we were working with closely. And they were part of the voter verification. We are part of the due duplication at the warehouse for all the days they were there. We have the roster that can confirm that. And they were given opportunities to ask questions. And as a result, we came out with the final figure in November. It says state managed exhibition. Again, this was never a state managed exhibition. We will follow the law under section 27 of PA. It says commissioners are sympathetic to the government of the day. That's not the case. Let me make this again very clear that The commission here, because in some meetings with some foreign partners, they are requested, they had the same rumor, or they were informed that the commissioners are from the same northwest, southwest, southeast region. And we have the commissioners now here. He is the Mende. Let me start with myself, Mende, Konyaka, or Paul Mende. He is a Timni from Poloko, or from Bombali. He is a Timni as well. Mrs. Moja is a Kisi, and Mrs. Zaina Mosre a Limba. So probably people are confused with her name, Mosre, but she's a Limba. So the commission compositions, as I mentioned earlier, if we had all of them from the, not us, the commissioners, but the staff, if we all of them coming from one region, it is not my responsibility. I inherited them, and I have worked them. They are professionals, and that's more the reason we have taken the honors that we have to conduct this election with the local resources. We have challenged them to doing that. Recommendations. ECSL to guarantee counting of ballot follows polling stations, manual tally instead of electronically in the presence of party agents. The commission guaranteed the APC that the result will be counted at polling station in the presence of political party agents and observers. The original results reconciliation form will be completed by the PO, polling officer, presiding officer, and a copy of the signed RRF form will be given to party agents. All original RRF forms will be placed in tea bags and taken to the district returning officer, who will take them to the regional tally center for collation and certification of district results. We have created offices in our regional offices for each of the district officers in the region. We do not have the resources, we do not have the setup in district offices because these are rented properties. Many offices don't have the structure for us to do tally. As a result, following the practice of the past two elections, electoral cycles, the commission followed the same decision to do regional tally, where district returning officers will go with their results. They supervise the collation of the results, and the result will be certified in front of the regional commissioners, and then subsequently the regional commissioners will submit the results for me, the provisional result, for my tally and confirmation.